Hi everyone. So in previous class, we have executed this job, right? Where uh, first this command is executed, then this job is executed. So what is there in this job activity can be known by opening this stage. If we open it, we can see the name which is being imported. Here the job imported is PJ filter. So we can right click on this stage and we click on, if we click on open job, we can route to the parallel job which is attached to that particular job activity. Okay, so this is the parallel job which is being linked to this particular job activity. Likewise, in general, not only two stages. In real-time projects, we are going to have very huge sequence which is having some 10 to 11 job activities in between loops, in between some command line activities, sometimes sequencers, sometimes notifications. Everything is going to be connected from end to end so that one complete requirement is going to be finished. So to check the logs, do not check the logs here in the developer console or designer console. This is designer console, right? We can check the logs two ways. One is through the designer console, other one is through the director console. So through designer console, if we click on Control plus L, that is going to show up the logs. So these are the logs, which is very minimal view. So instead of this, you can directly open the director. You can directly open the director console from here, or else from designer also we can go. Like select the tools, click on run director. Even this question is asking now how you can able to open your director console. So one is through direct login, other one is through data stage designer from tools menu bar. So then we can open the director. So here we can see all the sequences or all the jobs that are available in the repository. This is the left side one is my repository. If I click on the folder, then I can able to see the jobs over here. Along with the jobs, I can also see the status when it is been executed last time and what is the time that it has been consumed for the execution. All the details are going to available in my data stage director console. And since we are more checking on this sequence one, so to check the logs of sequence one, so first it is saying the sequence is finished. To check the logs, we need to select the job, either parallel job or sequence job, and we need to click on this yellow color notepad, which is going to show the log. Okay. So here by clicking on one entry by other entry, by clicking next, we can see we can see all the logs. Okay. And you see, you try to understand or check these logs frequently so that you will understand the pattern. See here, we can see the command activity. And we can also, if I open that log, I can see the reply is 0. That means this is executed successfully. Okay. If I click on next, then it is saying through sequence 1, sequence job, parallel job demo filter is requested. Once after requested, it is saying parameters that are being passed to that particular job. So to this Oracle connections parameter, dev value set is configured. Say suppose sometimes what happens is in the production, the value set will not get refreshed. In the production, they should be set to the production environment details, right? So sometimes what happens is default values will flow. So when something is aborted or something is missing, or if something is failing, the first step we need to take is we need to go to the director console and we need to check the logs. This question is also asking. So when something is failing, what is the approach that you do follow to rectify the issue? So the answer should be something like this. Whatever may be the issue, we must know the job name first. Once we know the job name, either parallel job or a sequence job, we must have the name. Once we know it, we go to the director console and we check the logs. There in the logs, first step is we need to verify whether the parameters been passed as expected or not. Like if the job is running on test environment and they have passed the development details, that is not correct, right? So we must see whether they are going correct or not. And here the target path is there. In the requirement, are they asking to save the file in C and IBM folder or not? Or is the target file name is correct or not? So we need to first check whether the parameters are passing correctly or not to the aborted job. Once they are correct, then go to the first fatal error. So what does first fatal error is? Now, since this is a sequence, we cannot see the parallel job logs over here. To see the parallel job logs from a sequencer, so first we need to click on the line where the job is requested. This is the line where the parallel job is requested. So there, right click, then you will get this related log. If I right click on this particular line, we cannot see that related log. See, this is disabled. That can be activated only for the linked parallel jobs. So here the linked parallel job is started over here, right? So we need to select that line and click on right, do a right click. Then you will get this related log. Then we can able to see the log of that parallel job. Okay, this is the log of the parallel job, which is PJ demo filter. So here the demo filter is actually aborted. See, you can see demo filter aborted. So that means job is failed. When something is failed, so whatever you see in the red color, we call them as fatal error. And whatever we see as yellow color, that is being called as a warning. So we first need to concentrate on the values passed. Once they are all correct, then we need to check the first fatal error, which is going to give some clue on the error. So this is my first fatal error, right? I am double clicking on it so that I'll see it very clearly. It is saying the connector could not find a column in the input schema to match parameter salary. So it is saying there is no column available with name salary. That is what it is telling. So then what we need to do and where it is happened, on which particular stage it is happened is this is source employee. So we need to open the job. Here right click, open job. Then check for the stage name. Source employee is this stage. I'm using Alt tab uh, to move one window to other window. So here I'm using two windows. One is director window, other one is designer window. In the designer window, this is my designer window where I can see the job. This is my director window where I have the log. Since the job is aborted, now I'm checking for the reason. So I'm checking on the first fatal error. So the error happened to the stage source employee. Source employee is nothing but this one. Okay. What it is saying, there is no column available with salary. The connector could not find a column in the input schema to match parameter salary. So I go to the columns. See here, salary is not available, but salary is there in the DB. So this is my DB. Actually, that table is extracting data from a database. Give me a second. I'm sorry. That salary is not there. That is the error. So we need to add that salary, and that is the issue why the job is failed. And why it is asking for salary is here I'm asking to select everything, right? Select a star means select all the columns. We are asking to get all the columns, but we are not adding all the columns here. That's the issue. If we give here ID, comma, name, comma, department, in that case, it will not give that error. But if I give select a star, that means select all the columns. So I'm asking to get all the columns, but I am not giving all the columns here in the metadata. Then metadata is not going to sync with the select statement that we are providing, which is a wrong way of defining. And that is being captured in the uh, logs. So we get the issue now. So let's sort it out. Let me copy all the columns including salary. Okay. I'm deleting all the things. I'm loading it to the imported columns. So now all columns are there. I selected OK. And here in the filter stage, I'm selected department sales. All the 4 columns are there. Go to output tab. I'm adding the salary column also. I'm retrieving all the columns. And here in the target path and target file. So now everything is fine. So I'm compiling this one. And let's run the sequence now and see how the uh, log is going to be. See, now the latest log, always the latest log will be in black color. Okay. So now this job is in compiled state. Let's run the sequence. Dev path is C IBM. File name is sales.txt. I executed it. Let's refresh. See, this is running and this is also running. Click on this one so that we'll get the latest runs at top. So we can check the parallel jobs. So again, it is not about see. Let's go to the log and check the error. So now, what's the error? Again, it is saying some fatal error. At now, the error is not at source employee, but the error is at filter department stage. You can see it, right? Filter department. So go and open the job and check for the stage with name filter department. Open it and go to the log. So here what it is saying, the specified field department. Here the name of the department is wrong. Does not exist in the view adapted schema. That means in the input schema. In the input schema, there is no column available with department. Actually, we do have department. So go to your input columns. So we can able to filter, apply the filter only on the available input columns. Here we do have department, whereas here the name was wrong. So that is the error. I intendedly given wrong name so that you can able to understand how to address an issue. Okay, so once we add this name, click on OK, correct it, compile it. Then the applied changes are going to be saved. Now let's rerun the sequence. So again, go back. To go back, this is the icon you need to press and select the sequence. Give the parameter values, development, and the target path is C colon IBM. And the target file name is sales.txt. Okay, click on this run. Now my demo filter is finished. Event sequence is finished. So that means now check the logs. Now I am checking the sequence log. See here, parallel job demo filter requested, started, finished, and finished with warnings. Whereas here you see PJ demo filter has finished and status is 3. That means aborted. So when a parallel job finished with no warnings, then the status is going to be 1. When the status is 2, that means the job is finished with warnings. When the status is 3, then the job is failed. So let's try to diminish the warnings also. The actual way or the correct way of developing a job is we must reduce the warnings. Okay. So go back and go to your demo filter log and check for the warnings which are there. There are 3 warnings. So warning is available on the uh, sequence employee stage. And what is the warning is at field salary exporting nullable field without null handling properties. So what it is trying to say is in column salary field, there are null values uh, or that is a nullable S column. So try to handle those nulls in the job. Then you will not get this warning. Okay, let's try to understand the warning in much more clear way. So let me show you what it is trying to say. Go to the columns. So you see this nullable, no, nullable, yes are there, right? Nullable no means no null values are allowed. So for this ID column, no null values are allowed. Whereas for salary, for name and for department, there are null values. So try to handle those null values. If there is a null value available or if there is no value passed in the data, how you would like to export it? That is what it is asking. So try to handle them before in place. So how we can able to handle them is to handle null values, we can have NVL functions in a transformer. Otherwise, so we can also handle here itself as in the format. Here you see null field value is there. So click on this null field value and give nothing. That means whenever a null is there, then we are replacing it with nothing. I'm not sure if this is going to help to remove that warning. Let's check it out. I'm running here itself to see that. C colon IBM and this is sales dot txt. So see now, I'm not sure if the warning is there or not. Let's check it. So this is my current log. You can see the warnings. This is our previous run log. You see 3 warnings are there and here those 3 warnings are not there. That means we handled the null values. I hope even this question is asked how you can able to handle the null values. So if we have a transformer stage, we can handle them through NVL functions. If that NVL function is not there, that means no transformer is there in our design, then we can handle them through sequential file stage or through the target stage that is available. Now you see it is there in finished and with warnings is not there. Let's try to run it through the sequencer. And before that, as we discussed, let's see this one. So we see finished with warnings, right? Let's run and see. Now we get finished and the status here is 2, but now we are going to get status 1. Target path is C IBM. File name is sales.txt. Okay. The job started, parallel job. Now see finished. Okay. Status is 1. So this is how we need to improve our code or our job, and that must be a good design. with respect to performance and with respect to the logs as well. So if we give the code with this, that is not a good development. If it is 3, anyhow, that is not going to be move further. So we must develop the job in such a way that we should not have either fatal errors or warnings. Hope you get how to check logs and how to rectify the errors. You might not get how to rectify every kind of error, but at least you need to get which is the way to sort out the errors and to fix them. Okay, let's take another scenario and let's try to develop one more sequence with more sequence stages that are available. Okay. Anyone do have any questions in this either logs checking or the sequence development or the sequence logs, anything that so far which we have discussed, parameterization, everything. Uh, so we did not check the output of the command line, right? Let's check whether the files are created or not. So where we are going to check is, let me connect to this Unix. So first we need to change the directory, right? cd c colon IBM. So we are in IBM folder now. I'm doing an ls. ls is going to give the list of files. So you see, there is one error I see. So it need to create the command output, right? This file 1.txt is not created in the IBM folder, but I want in the IBM folder. Then how we can do it is, see, I created file, I'm adding data to file 1.txt, but I have not provided the path where this file 1.txt should be created. So let's go back. And I want that file 1.txt in the same path. Then we need to give the same path C / IBM /. Then this file 1.txt is going to be added at the same path. I'm compiling so that the save changes will be saved and I'm executing the job. I can execute the job through designer console and through director console also. File 1.txt. Run. Let's go and check things. So my command executed, then the job requested, job finished, sequence finished. Now let's do the ls again. So now we need to see file 1.txt. See, this is created. Let's check what is there in that file 1.txt. So the data is, hey, again a mistake is there. What's the mistake is, it is adding the sales data, but it should have the list of these values. Let me check. Sorry. So can anyone give the hint where it is wrong? Okay. I hope you are all with me. You there with me, right? Okay. The mistake is I have given this file 1.txt in two places. One is to add the data here and the other one is here also. See, here also I am asking to save the file 1.txt. So what's happening, even though the command executed, first the command is saving ls-ltr result to this file 1.txt. Later, this job is adding the sales data to that file 1.txt. So I am using same file name twice. Then which data is going to be resided in the file? The data which is saved latest, right? That's the issue. So how we can remove it is, we need to give a different file name here. C colon IBM, and here it is sales1.txt, and I'm running this job. So now do a less. See, sales1.txt is created. Now you can see cat file1.txt. Now we get the correct result in the file1.txt. Also check sales1.txt. Even this data is correct. So now the complete job development or the sequence development, including testing, is completed because everything is coming up as expected. This is how we need to validate our job from start till end. We need to erase the warnings, we need to erase the fatal errors, we need to check the past parameters, we need to check the created output files, and we also need to check whether the data is appropriate or not. Everything from starting to the ending need to be checked one by one. Okay. Now let's consider one more scenario. So so this is what we are trying to implement in the second scenario. The first task is we need to create a table called department because that table is not available. So we need to create a table called department in the Oracle database and add some dummy data to it. Then develop a job, parallel job, where you need to join employee table and department table, save the data to a table. Again, the target is also a DB table. Actually, we need to create the table through the job and they need to insert the data to that table. And the target table should have these columns: employee ID, employee name, department ID, and department name. These are the four columns that the table should have, which is being created by the job. Then they are asking create another parallel job that should create a file with below data. So we need to develop a parallel job which should able to create a file which is having this format. And then we need to add all these things to a sequence job. And one more thing is here we also need to calculate these rows. So let's start and work each of the tasks. Generally, this is how we will get the requirement. We need to work one by one. So let me open the database. Before going to database, what I need to have to create a table. What are all the things that I need to have? Table name, column names, schema, and data. Okay, so the table name is department. So we can start write a query. What is the syntax to create a table is create table and table name. So here my table name is department. Okay, and then we need to write the columns. What are all the columns that department table should have? Department ID, which is a numeric of 10. Then department name, which is a varchar of 20, and employee ID. No, employee ID should. Okay. These are the two columns that should be there to this particular table. Okay, let's create it. So here I'm creating the table. Create table department having the columns department ID, which is an integer, and this is my primary key as well, comma, department name, which is a varchar of 10. This is int of G, and I'm closing it. This should be integer. Hope I have given everything. It is saying right parenthesis is missing. So now the table is created, table department created. So let's see the table. I'm refreshing. Can you able to see my screen? Hello.
Yes, Jansi.
Okay. So it is saying table is already existed. That means table is created. Let me refresh the repository so that I can able to see it. Actually, no data is there. So nothing should pop up. Department ID, department name. Let's try to add the data as well. I'm checking for the table. PPT should come here. Let me close and reopen it. So now I can able to see the department. Go to the data, add the data using this plus symbol. So let's take, we have two departments, right? 10 is sales, add one more row, second row, and it is marketing, 20. Okay, let's save this one. We can save by committing changes. Okay, so these two rows will added. So first action is completed. This is done. So the next thing is we need to join two tables, employee table and department table. And then we need to create a new table called employee department. So I'm opening a data stage. Let's create a new parallel job. Let me add the skeleton. So go to database section, Oracle connectors 2. One is employee table. Other one is, what is this table? Department. And we need to join, right? So let's use join stage. This is linked to join from employee. This is linked to join from department. Then finally, where I am saving the data again to a database. Database. And this is my new table, which is employee department. We are done with the skeleton. I'm saving this job with parallel job, employee department join. Save. Okay. The next task is adding the parameters. Click here. So the connection details should be there, right? So add parameter set, Oracle connections, and click on OK. This is the only one that we need. Let's plug in the connections. So here it should be server, this should be user, this should be password. Test it. Connection was successful. Give the select statement. Select star from employee and check the data. Plugin is good. So go to the columns. There load the columns. This is the employee. Click on OK. And then next one is department. Server. User. Password. Select star from department. Click on new data. Developers. Schema is not saved. So let's save the schema. Click on import, table definitions, start import wizard connections, check the connector, click on next, provide the password, go to next, go to next, go to next, check for the table department. Then click on next, import. I'm importing to table definitions. Click on OK. Now load them. Go to columns, click on load. System.dept, click on OK. I want both the columns, click on OK. And then OK. Plugged in both the things. Now go to the join. So I want a left join, not inner join. And my left table is employee. My right table is department. Okay. Key column is, okay, no column is showing up because ID is wrong. So here, okay, department name is there. Here department is there. So names are not correct. So what I'm doing is I am keeping a copy stage here. I will change the column name. While discussing the copy stage, I explained you this one. So column name must be same to perform a join. But since the column names are not same, we can adjust it since we know the column name, key column name. Okay. Now we get, so department name. So these are the two columns that are coming from department. This is link from employee. Link from employee. Okay. Now do the mapping. I'm not explaining each step by step because we have seen these stages before. What are all the things that we want? Employee ID, employee name, department ID, department name. So employee ID is nothing but ID. Employee name is nothing but name, department ID, and department name. Salary, I skipped because that is not needed. I clicked on OK. And here, server, user, no, password. And I don't want to insert. I want to create and insert. So There must be an option to create the table also. So we need to check it out. Mm. So here table action is there, right? It should be create. Then the table is going to be created and then insert the data. And what's the table name? Department employee. Is it so? Employee department. So there should be employee department. I am not giving any statement. I am asking to generate it by data stage. Then there is no need to write the query. I am asking to create a table and I'm asking to insert the data. Okay, then I'm just giving the table name and the column names I already passed. Here it is asking what is the key column. The key column is only ID column. I clicked on OK. I compiled it. Now what we are trying to do, we are trying to join employee and department table and create a new table on database. The job is creating, we are not creating. Okay, I'm running the job. I'm passing the parameters, run it. And tomorrow we will see the next steps. See, 6 rows came from employee, 2 rows came from department, applied the join, and 6 rows uh, inserted to new table. Let's check the table also. 1 second. Table name. Let's refresh the table. Let's just talk about it. Let me show you. Select star from employee department. Employee department. So see a department ID, department name, ID, and name. So we are done with first 2 tasks. Okay. There is one more job need to be developed, right? This is also done. First one also done. So tomorrow we will see how to develop a parallel job which can able to create a file with this format and we can link all those things to a sequence. So far, any doubts? So please try these things at your side also on your data stage as well. I am pasting the requirement in the Zoom chat. Let me also add it to WhatsApp chat as well. Mm. So please work on this one. Okay. Thank you. Bye.
ఏమైందమ్మా